Hello people of YouTube and welcome back. So yes, we are back in the game room, first time for a while. It feels like, oh my goodness, a while. I know I did my game like 3DS collection the other day, but I actually filmed that like 2 months ago. Crazy how time flies. But yeah, anyway, we're back here to do a VR video, and that's really what I want to be doing. Loads of these kind of things. Really enjoy watching these, and I really wanted to put my 2 cents in. So with that being said, I'm in front of the old PlayStation wall, and that means one thing. We're going to talk about PlayStation thanks to Rodgy Retro. Was it Rodgy Retro who started it? I can't remember who started it. Someone did. And yeah, it was a great idea. I mean, I love my PlayStation, if you can tell, really. Watched quite a few people do them. I think I'll only going to be doing my PlayStation 1, to be fair. Just because of time. I've just not got the time like everyone else seems to be able to bang videos out left, right and centre. Anyway, we're a minute on and I'm waffling. I've got a flipping man flu and everything. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit drowsy. So got the old trooper that'll hopefully help me go along. Talk about these games a little bit. Oh, so that goes down nice in this hot heat. But anyway, what are we talking about? Video games, PlayStation 1 in particular. Now, this is realistically, it's just an excuse to talk about my favourite games, because putting into a top 10, impossible. Impossible. So many good games out there, and it was a great system. It's a system that like kind of took me away from my Sega Saturn, my beloved Sega Saturn. Sony, this random company, well, random electronics company, came in and started muscling in on video games, and I didn't want any of that. I was a Sega Saturn stalwart. But after a bit, I started seeing all the games coming out, and I was like, I was drawn to the dark side, unfortunately. I've got to say, I much prefer the Sega Saturn. However, just pure numbers, PlayStation's just trumps it massively. However, like I say, I think Saturn is better, realistically, especially my kind of video game taste that I have these days anyway. So anyway, waffling a little bit again. So I'm going to do some honourable mentions, since a few people have been doing that. And like I say, I just want to have an excuse to talk about video games. So first, oh my god, I forgot what it's called already, but it is called Hot Blooded Nensetsu Family. This game is absolutely fantastic. If you want to know what this is called, ask me the question, what is it, and I'll write it underneath. But this is a flipping amazing game. I'm trying to get the old pictures. So if you like brawlers, side-scrolling brawlers, you'll absolutely love this game. It is pretty much, plays very much like, sort of like a Final Fight, Streets of Rage style scrolling brawler. However, it just turns up the insanity to like 25. Yeah, just really bizarre enemies, really great kind of like character designs. It's not the best of its type, I've got to say that. It is in like the 16-bit style graphics that obviously couldn't get done on a Mega Drive. It's like sort of arcadey style, but like pixel arty. So that's a little good tip for me. A good win for me. Anything like pixel art, I love it, especially on the PlayStation. You don't see many games like this. Yeah, very easy, not hard to complete or anything like that. And like I say, it's not the most in-depth. However, the character, if you like crazy character designs, you're gonna love this. I loved it anyway. So next up, these are just honorable mentions. These are like in my top. I've got to say, I just like talking about like just random games that you might not normally pick up. And this is another one. It's the Bombing Islands. This is really cheap. You can get this for £5 sometimes. So this is crazy. What's it, Kid Clown? People know of the first game in the series more. Well, I'll come to that in a second as well, which is Kid Clown and Crazy Chase on the Super Nintendo. However, this is a spin-off of that, and Kid Clown goes around and does like a bit of a puzzle game. So if you can see on the back, yeah, we're going to be lazy. We're just showing screenshots. It's a bomb moving puzzle game. So yeah, a lot of people as well might have already played a game similar to this, and it's called Bomboozle. Now, Bomboozle was on the Amiga, and this actually is a sequel to it. However, they did a reskin of it. And I think on the Nintendo 64, it's called something completely different as well. Something, oh God, should do some research, shouldn't I? It's called something else on the N64 as well. It's not got the Kid Clown moniker, whatever. But yeah, like this is brilliant. If you like kind of like devious puzzles where you kind of got to move around like a single board, you will love this game. This is great. I do like my puzzle games every so often. Now this one's got puzzle in the title, but it isn't, I wouldn't call it a puzzle game. It's called Yoyos Puzzle Park. So this is back to front for me. I hope it's not too back to front for you. Yeah, this is just a great single screen, fun to play action game. Really good. I really love this game. So fun. Yeah, it's not the cheapest of games, but it's one of them games that's well worth playing. So yeah, great game, great game. I need to start knocking these out because these are just the honorable mentions. I'm sure you've all played this game, but Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, one of my absolute all-time favorite sort of like columns or Tetris style games, and that's mainly because of the 2-player. Oh my goodness, that gets so addictive. I mean, it's fun as it is. You've got a few different modes to do it on, but playing it with someone else, that just turns it into a whole new level of like addictiveness. You've got like your little characters doing like Street Fighter attacks to each other. When you do like a big like clear of the screen, you then throw it all back over to the other side, and like that's when it's like you think you're doing really well, and then the other player comes along and just absolutely decimates you. Amazing. I love it. And we've got another side-scrolling brawler, and it's Gekido. So this is Gekido Urban Fighters. So I don't know if this is a sequel of anything. There is a sequel up here actually. It actually came out on the Game Boy Advance, and then there was a remake of that one on the PlayStation 4. But this is where it started, the PlayStation 1 version. Really cool. It's like 3D brawler, so if you can see the screenshots, it's not like the 2D style, although it does play very similar to it. Just they had to, because back in them days they had to make everything 3D, and unfortunately that suffers from it. But all in all, this is still a great game and really worth picking up. Again, you can probably pick this up for about a tenner. So anyway, honorable mentions done. That was 5 minutes. So I'm probably going to talk about these a little bit more, so I've got to apologise. There is no order to this. This is just, I think, just however I pulled it out. I'm not going to do a top 10 because it's a near impossible task. I don't think I could rank anything above another, because 2 days later it will probably just change. So I'm just going to, I can't even remember what order it's. I pulled this out last night so I could do it today. So anyway, stop waffling. We've got, for £8, I picked up Ridge Racer. Oh my goodness, why am I showing the insides? What a flipping idiot. I absolutely love this game. This is the PlayStation for me. How could this not be on anyone's top 10? And the thing is, we played this, was it last year or the year before, as like a tuber high score thing. I think was it Gunaldinho actually started it? I think he probably did. He did make some good challenges. Yeah, and we picked this, and I was a bit trepidated. What is it, trepidated? I don't know. I'm trying to use fancy words and they don't work, do they? But yeah, I was a bit worried about playing it and it not holding up to what I remember. But you know what? It really did. The music, the vibrant colour. This is what's missing from video games these days. The vibrant colours and the banging beats. You might not like the music. I mean, not everyone is into electronic music. However, I don't think I was back then. However, it still got ingrained into me, and it really works so well with this game series. There isn't anything like it. It really isn't. I really like my Sega Rally, but Ridge Racer is where it's at. The drifting, I mean, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Not as good as I was back then, but you know, obviously there was Ridge Racer Type 4 that I think had like the better version of this realistically on the disc. And then there's Rage Racer. Sorry, I think I've upset a few people because they all talked about Rage Racer. I've never played Rage Racer. I've played it in the arcades, but I've never played it on the PlayStation. And that's a shame, really, because it does look good, and I don't even own it. I was looking for it the other day. Well, I say the other day, I think it was last year, to play it, and I had to play this again, and it didn't disappoint. I really loved it. I mean, it really doesn't age. It's exactly how you remember back in the day. Really good. Next up, yeah, a bit of a heavy hitter, really, but it has to be on there. I'm a massive Castlevania fan. Is it the best Castlevania? Absolutely not. But this just, there was games very similar to this beforehand and at the same time. However, this just made it that much more like, I don't know, they really married everything, like the Metroid style exploration with the gothic hard as nails sort of gameplay from Castlevania, and they merged it all together, added secrets to stuff, more so than Metroid and stuff like that. Added sort of like almost RPG elements where you're like leveling up and everything like that, just to make it a very sort of deep and really good game, really. Like I say, there is better Castlevanias than this. I prefer Castlevania 3. I just prefer that more sort of brutal, sort of like single sort of rootedness gameplay. And I love the NES. However, you cannot deny how good a game this is. Such a shame that everyone wasn't into 2D back then. Because even I shunned this back in the day. I've got to say, it was something that I played much later on, and I'm just gutted that I never really gave it the love that I once could have done back in the day. And I guess that's why it's not a rare game, but it is a lot more uncommon than sort of Ridge Racer. Next up, if you ever had the PlayStation 1 magazine, you probably played this to death. Now, there was a demo of this on the PlayStation 1 magazine, and that was pretty much all we ever played. I played that demo more than anything, and I never actually owned this game up until like fairly recently. But oh my goodness. If you don't know what this is, which I don't know how you wouldn't know what this is sort of like a puzzle game where you kind of got to like get rid of, like, these blocks just come towards you like steadily, and you've kind of got to get rid of them by laying traps down and stuff like that, so you don't get pushed off the end. And yeah, it's kind of almost like a horror game, because it used to like really get me like my heart pumping and scared and stuff like that. It kind of freaky. But yeah, another like PlayStation game that is a must for any PlayStation owner. It's not expensive. It's not as cheap as it once was. However, like I say, if you want something a little bit, if you like kind of to use your brain a little bit, you will love this game. It is absolutely amazing. Next up, do you know what? I'm gonna have a drink first, because the next game is just quality. Trying to do a Geordie Slasher gamer there. Not as good. We have got, as it says on the cover, arcade classic Pang collection. Now, it's just Pang. I mean, Super Pang is one of my all-time favorite games. It is just full-on arcade action gameplay. Flipping love it. This could be number one. Really could. I absolutely love Pang. But not only that, but you got Pumping World, which is the PC Engine game. Is that the original Pang, I think, Pumping World? And then you got Pang 3 as well. I've got this so many times over. I've got it on the PSP. I've got it on the Super Nintendo. Absolutely love Pang. It's great to have them all in one package. Yes, when I think PlayStation, I don't necessarily think of Pang. However, the fact that this is on PlayStation, I can't have it not in my top 10. I absolutely love Pang. Really do. It's a stupid name. Really is. I'd love to have it on the Amiga, but I'm not paying them prices either. Next up, we have got an actually, this is quite a new entry for me. This is a game that I only started playing not too long ago. Well, I say not too long ago. It's probably about 5 or 6 years ago when I first played it. And yeah, I was very taken aback and actually quite impressed by it. And it's Crash Team Racing. Again, at the time, I was just a big Mario 64 geek. I absolutely loved it. Nothing could beat Mario 64 for me. And I just think I played a few other like sort of car racing games on the PlayStation, and they was all a bit janky, a bit stiff. So I just associated them kind of games with like just PlayStation car racers with this, and I thought this will just be another reskin, but it's not. It absolutely isn't. This is a fantastic racer. You've got a bit of a hub world as well, which isn't my favorite bit of it. But when you get into the races, oh my goodness, they are probably better than Mario Kart 64. They probably are. I've not played this multiplayer, but I can imagine that being pretty awesome. I mean, Mario Kart 64, that's really shined when it was multiplied, didn't it? So my voice is going. I've got the man flu. Definitely not got coronavirus. We've got 5 more games left and we're at 15 minutes. Oh my goodness, I need to get this done. I mean, what's not been said about this before? Resident Evil. Oh, look at me. I've got the flipping white label. That is pretty sad, really. I need to sort that out, really. But yeah, what's not been said about this before? This is, again, PlayStation. It's not... Realistically, there is better games than this out on the PlayStation, but I can't think PlayStation without thinking Resident Evil. It doesn't hold up as well as Ridge Racer, but I always remember when this came out, probably about a few months after. It wasn't exactly when it came out, but I can remember getting it from, what was it called? Spalding Market. Went to Spalding Market, and they had this for like 20 quid, and I was like, Mum, I need to get that. So got it from Spalding Market, came home, and I say came home, went back to, we had a little caravan in Skegness, went there, turned it straight on. My parents were like, oh, we're off out now, we're off to the pub. And I was like, I'm not coming with you, I'm playing this. And that was the best thing and the worst thing I could have ever done, all rolled up to one, because as soon as I started playing it and everyone buggered off and it started getting a little bit dark, you got to that first zombie where it just, you come up to it and it turns around and looks at you, and that will always be ingrained into my memory. I had to turn it off straight away and put something colourful on until someone came back. Oh my goodness, that was, I mean, like I say, everything, like there's so many moments in this that I will never forget. Like the dog, obviously the dogs, the bit when you like go to the corpse with like the eyes pecked out and stuff like that. So many cool like moments. It wasn't a great game, but it was like, it was quite hard. I felt it was, especially for my age. But I can remember just trying my hardest just to creep ever so further until I could get to the bit that I needed to be, until I could save again. Because again, you couldn't just save it anywhere. You had to save your ribbons. Was it ribbons in this game? I'm mixing them all up, you see. So you can actually get to the certain places and save it, so you can progress. And that just made it so much more. And to be honest, nowadays my patience not good enough for that. So again, next game, it's another one that you don't associate with PlayStation. However, this was the first way I played this game, and so that's why it's going on my list, and it's a flipping fantastic game. We're going to have a drink, and I always thought this was a PAL game. I've mentioned this countless times before, but it is Chrono Trigger. So this is the Final Fantasy Chronicles, but if you see there was a disc for Chrono Trigger. Now, back in the day, I was, oh my god, same as most of us. I went to the local comic book shop, went behind there, chatted to the guys for a bit, and we went through their list and would get a tenner's worth of games, which was like about, I don't know, two quid, maybe 4 for 10 quid. That's why we got tenner's worth. And yeah, I had a disc called Chrono Trigger that they recommended to me, and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely fell in love with it. The time traveling storyline of this game is second to none. Really is. It's that simple-ish JRPG that's got enough going on that it's not like too easy where you just go around and press X to win. You actually have to think about the battles a little bit, but you've not got like over crazy. Like the thing is about some RPGs that do me in is when they've got like all these mechanics that bog you down, and you got to think about how this is going to react to this and that's going to react to that. No, this you basically just thinking about the battles, how they are, with who you've got, and you've got to think of the storyline, and that's what makes this game so unique. It's just that right level of difficulty paired with an awesome, non-forgettable storyline. And like I say, I can remember when I first started collecting the PlayStation again, I went to go get this and I was like, why can't I find Chrono Trigger? And it's because it only came out on like an anthology disc in America and probably Japan as well. But yeah, anyway, finally got it. So that's nice to have, because like I say, always stuck into my memory. That next up, one that is this is like coming to my top 10 this year. It's one that I've heard so many good things about, and I finally got around to playing it, and it is Panzer Bandit. And unfortunately, there's no screenshots on the back to show how good this game is, and unfortunately I'm not going to be splicing anything in. But again, if you like your side-scrolling brawlers, you will love this. However, it doesn't play like Streets of Rage. It plays more like Guardian Heroes than the Sega Saturn. This is the PlayStation 1's version of Guardian Heroes, and do you know what? This is so much better. It really is. The sprite work on this is just beautiful, and if anything looks good and plays good, like, and it's got sprite based kind of like visuals, it's won me over. It really has. So yes, Panzer Bandit. I'm not going to say much about it because we're running out of time. Oh, we've got two good ones to finish on. And do you know what? I've not talked about any flipping shooters, but here we go. We have got Gekido. I've had Gekido, and now we've got Gekido. Two games that sound very similar. So the Shooting King. This game is absolutely fantastic. It's kind of like when you shoot something, it explodes. It's one of them kind of games. It's just, I don't know, really pumps you up. This is just an excellent game. If you like your shooters, you are going to love this game. Fortunately, it's a little bit pricey. It's also on the Japanese Sega Saturn for probably a little bit less than you can get this for. But again, still, well, I still need to get it myself for the Sega Saturn. This was just because I got a really cheap, well, I say really cheap, but cheap for this game. But yeah, I put it in and then I never stopped playing it for ages. Absolutely loved it. Still not 1cc'd it yet, but you know, we're a trying, we're going to do it. And in fact, I'm going to put this to one side so I can play this this weekend. So yeah, Gekido. I've forgotten what the flipping name is for the Japanese one. It's gonna kick me. I'm gonna kick myself. It's not gonna kick me. Can't do anything. And do you know what? This could be my number one. This could actually be my number one. We've had a couple of RPGs, haven't we? Now we've got the best RPG. We've got Suikoden. However you want to call it, you can call it because it is that good a game. Oh, what's happening there? I don't know. Suikoden from Konami. Absolutely amazing game. Yeah, so what's it called? My brain's frazzled now. It's early in the morning, which is late for me. Brain's gone. Heat's coming. I'm sweating. And yeah, is it 96 stars that you get? I forgot what they're called. It's a little bit like Pokemon in some way, where you're going around collecting members to build up an army so you can take on the whatever it's called, the something Empire, Scarlet Moon Empire. Is it? I don't know. Stories are not my strong suit. However, again, like I was saying with Chrono Trigger, this is just pure JRPG, where again you've got like little things to think about, like collecting all these like characters so you can get a better army to take on the things at the end, which isn't, to be honest, the army bit isn't the strong suit. It does work a lot better in the second game. However, this is my favorite game. I can remember seeing the Suikoden 2 review in the magazines, and I was like, that looks way too realistic. Like I say, my favorite kind of RPGs are when they look like this, when they look like they should be on a Super Nintendo, but then have a little bit extra going for it. I love that graphic style. It's just, that is my piece de la resistance. Anyway, you've all seen Suikoden before. You know what it's all about. Absolutely belt it. We're on 25 minutes now. I've probably talked enough at you right now. We've got a big stack of games here that I've got to put away. That's going to be fun. But yeah, anyway, I hope to see a couple more of you guys, especially Jim Corbana. Love to see what your top 10 is, if you've actually got this far anyway. Love to see. Obviously, I'm hoping you've already done it at this point. And Big Game Al, you've got like twice as many PlayStation 1 games. You must have found 10 games out of there, at least, that you could put on your list. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see your top 10. See you later. Bye.